It's my first time in Berlin. I'm excited to be here. First time in Tech Opener. Seems like a great conference. I was growing up in the mid-'80s. I was a teenager, mid-'80s to mid-'90s. Well, there was still a wall not far from here separating the world of consumers to those wanting to be consumers. Now, back then, it was pre-mobile phone, pre-internet. Nothing was on demand, no videos, no music, nothing was on demand. The one thing that united my generation was MTV. We loved our MTV. We used to sit in my parents' living room waiting for the next song to come up, waiting for Bon Jovi, Guns N' Roses, Madonna, whoever that was defined what we wanted to listen to, what we wanted to be. The one thing that was really exciting for our generation beyond the music was what happened in between, and those were commercials on MTV. Commercials back then were exciting, they were creative, the celebrities, the sound, the pace. Waiting for the new commercial was what we were waiting for back then. If you were growing up in the 80s, the combination of a tough guy on a Harley wearing a Levi's 501, wearing a Nike pair of sneakers, wearing a white Fruit of the Loom t-shirt was what you wanted to be. Nike back then was amazing. Just Do It slogan was mind-boggling back then. Until 1988, Nike was selling about 800 million a year. Following Just Do It in 1988, they grew to 9 billion a year just by going out with that slogan and hitting my generation. They knew what we wanted, they listened to what we wanted to be, and they got right through our hearts. Pepsi got it better than anybody else. They actually called it out very bluntly. We are the choice of the new generation. You want to belong, you want to be cool, you better damn hold a Pepsi in your hand, otherwise walk away. No wonder 2.5 decades later, I found myself working for Kenshoo. Kenshoo is a company that partners with multiple publishers and connects audiences with great advertising. Great, fun, engaging advertising that get to people's hearts. But it hasn't always been that way. If you think about the evolution over the past 15 years of digital marketing, publishers have evolved from creators of inventory boxes, if you will, white spaces filled with ads just to gain eyeballs, to curators of audiences, of experience that build engagement, make it fun again to consume advertising. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to try and walk you through some changes that are happening in the industry and how to build an authentic advertising to the post-millennials that are consuming advertising completely differently than how it got consumed over the past 15 years. Let's get going. The first thing is the art of letting go. Things change, technology changes, and people's behavior keeps changing. This is how a Google search looked like until February of this year. The right trail, gone in February. When Google announced it, people thought Google is going out of business. The primary revenue source for Google was ads, and Google announced that they're changing their behavior. Would you imagine walking into New York City's Times Square and telling them, hey, get rid of all your flashy billboards? Unthinkable. People thought the internet will collapse. A month later, same search looked like this. What happened? Nothing. No one cared, no one noticed. Google's revenue is still up and running, advertisers are still performing, and the users didn't even notice this thing has gone away. Google was calling out the fact that over time we realized that people don't want to click these ads. They're not as relevant as before. Quickly after, just 3 months later, Facebook announced, well, if it worked for Google, holy be holy, it's going to work for us as well. We're dropping the right rail. So the right rail is gone. But what really happened was that we as humans started consuming more and more content over mobile devices. And our minds got engraved in consuming content from a mobile device. And in a mobile device, there isn't that much real estate anymore. So we were looking for things that are within the experience. When we went back home or to the office, to our desktops, our mind wasn't looking to the right anymore. That thing was gone. And we were waiting for things that happen within our experience. But there's a deeper why that's happening. And that's the fact that over the past 15 years, ad tech companies, along with website owners, got us thinking that spare inventory or available inventory on their website is actually crap space. There's nothing to see there. Ads are irrelevant. They're boring. They're not talking to me anyway. So I'm going to ignore it. I'll look the other way. This is an example of Digiday called it the worst page on the internet. I'm sure everybody has their own experience of bad internet pages. It's pretty bad. But over time, we started ignoring ads that are irrelevant. to an extreme case.
Partly because traditional banner ads are so ineffective that one study found we only intentionally click on them less than 0.2% of the time, which actually sounds about right. Because did you know that if you ever actually click on a banner ad, you literally get taken to a page that reads, "Hey, is everything okay? I'm presuming you passed out and hit your head on the keyboard. I'm calling an ambulance right now."
So this was about 2 years ago. By now, the rate of people willing to click on banner ads is down to 0.06%. That's 6 people out of 10,000. In this room, there's about 600 people right now. That means pretty much what I'm saying is interesting to the guy here on the right, but I'm still forcing the rest of you to listen to what I have to say, even if you don't care. I'm still going to flash it in front of you. That's irrelevant advertising. The second thing that's happening, publishers have developed mechanisms to allow advertisers to soft sell. Now, we as humans, it makes sense, right? We're used to handling conversations, teasing, engaging, foreplaying before getting down to business. It hasn't always been that way. We used to try and push advertising, buy now, buy now. Here's an example of what Facebook's doing. Facebook's coming out with something called Canvas. Canvas allows multi-layer experience. It lets you, for example, take a carousel ad, flip through a few pictures. When you find something interesting, click it. You'll get some more details, maybe watch a video. If it's interesting enough, click again. We'll give you some more details. And then when you feel like you're really interested, we'll offer something to buy. Google has their own version of this with their destination technology. If you click any location with the destination suffix at the end, it will take you to an experience in the mobile that shows you where you want to go, some information. When you find the destination of interest, you click it, you'll get some more information. How much would a vacation cost there? And really, really, when they think you're ready to book, then an ad will come up and tell you, hey, do you want to book a hotel room? Do you want to book a flight now? It's a lot slow selling rather than very aggressive one. The third pillar of authenticity is really around creating trust. People don't trust ads on the internet. They feel like it's wrong, it's irrelevant, they don't know where they're going to click. That's where we see a 40% increase year over year in ad blockers. It doesn't have to be that way. Google just announced and launched their expanded text ads. Every ad on Google now needs to have a lot more text because they want you to know where you're walking into. They don't want some cryptic ad and then you find yourself somewhere you didn't intend to go. They'll give you a lot more information in the process so you know where you're heading. And then, if you really want to engage with your audience, you got to listen to them. You have to learn how they behave and where they want to go. Google's doing it with their own stack. The stack of Google Apps is helping them learn how users are consuming, what they want to do, where they want to go. Some of us use all the apps, some of us use some of the apps. But it's really around learning what you want to do, where you want to go, who are the people you're in touch with. And then they can deliver much better advertising. Facebook has their own version with messaging apps, relationships, photos. Again, learning how we want to behave and growing with it. But the world is evolving, and from a world that was controlled by Google for a long time, Facebook coming in, and then it was kind of a duopoly back there, to a world today where there's a lot more publishers with unique audience data. It's Pinterest, it's Snapchat, it's Twitter, it's Nextdoor, it's Pandora, understanding what the audiences want and are able to provide high-quality advertising to that audience. To a world where we're looking at technologies like Amazon's Echo is an example, or Apple's Siri that's constantly listening to what we want to do across all these apps, and we'll be able to deliver high-quality advertising into the future. And we need to prep ourselves to a world where we need to rise above these walled gardens of each of these publishers, because we got accustomed to saying, hey, I'm advertising on Google, I'm advertising on Facebook, I'm advertising on Pinterest. Going back to advertising to the audience itself. My teenage daughter is not thinking about, I'm looking into Facebook or Google. She's using Gmail, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Probably missed a few. But that's her day. If you really want to understand who she is and how to advertise, how to sell to her, you need to understand how she behaves across all these apps. And when you're able to get there to the point where really going back to understanding the audience, you're creating an experience that's letting go of all the noise out there, that's really building trust with the audience that you understand. When you're listening and learning, you engage with that audience. And then when you're there, you're able to create engaging, challenging, defining, fun advertising. Advertising at its best. Advertising that the way we felt towards it when we were teenagers.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than
Still makes me want to dance 30 years later, but I'm going to save you the horror show. Thanks a lot for listening.
Thank you very much, Shahar. We'll just do one quick question. Has anybody got a question? Okay, I've got a question. Millennials right now is the biggest buzzword, but do you not think that people are over-egging it in terms of, where we're really going right now? So there's a huge market in the older generation, people completely ignoring that.
Yes, but if you think about it, the pace of change is growing from millennials to non-millennials. So I'm trying to adopt behavior my daughter's having, right, in order to keep pace. So I'm trying to get on Snapchat. I haven't really figured it out just yet. But we're really adopting the same behavior. Those are the consumers. Just like we were there 30 years ago and advertising was very much towards us, there's the new generation of the millennials, the post-millennials, are getting to the age where they have the funds. They're the ones you want to advertise towards. They're the ones going to adopt. This is where the world is heading.
Okay, that's a fair point. Okay, thank you very much, Shahar.
Thank you.